So Hema base Mishnah. Ein edim zomimim neharkin. You don't kill the edim zomimim ad sheyigmar hadin. So you need to have the nigmar din on the nidon. So if the nidon hasn't got his psak din of I will kill the nidon, the basin's going to kill the nidon, then we're not going to kill the edim zomimim. If the edim, if other edim come and say that the edim zomimim imanu hayizim before the nidon has been chayiv misa and based in, then they're not killed. The edim aren't killed. Shaharei. We see that the Tzedukim say that that you can't kill the edim zomimim until you kill the nidon. Shenemor nefesh tachat nefesh. So nefesh, and this aleph here says nefesh benefesh. So you have a nefesh for a nefesh. So you'll only kill the nefesh of the edim zomimim once you kill the nidon. That's what the Tzedukim say. Amru lehem chachamim. You're going to be clear here. There's some hidden bits in the Mishnah here. V'halo kavar nemar ve'asitem lo kasher zamam lasot la'achiv v'harei achiv kayem. So Rashi here, lasot la'achiv mashma sheharei achiv adayin kayem. So why does the Chachamim are saying that when it's like the hidden bit, because see the Mishnah only says ad sheyigmar hadin, which is the beginning. Now the Chachamim are saying here, by the way, that they have to be alive. It has to be lasot la'achiv. The edim zomimim have to be an achiv of the nidon, and therefore, if the nidon is dead, then the edim zomimim aren't going to get the din. So therefore, the achiv adayin kaim, we can only give the edim zomimim a din if the nidon is alive. If the nidon is already killed, so then we can't give the punishment of edim zomimim. So therefore, we have this small window of when we can actually kill the edim zomimim from nigmar din of the nidon until the nidon is killed. If it's before the nigmar din of the nidon or after the nidon is killed, so then the edim zomimim are not killed. So this is really the first din of the or the second din of the Mishnah, whichever way you want to learn it. So v'yasitem lo kasher zamam lasot la'achiv. This is the posuk that the Chachamim are bringing. V'harei achiv kayem. Therefore, the nidon has to be alive in order to give the edim zomimim their punishment. V'im kein lama nemar nefesh benefesh. Yechol misha'a shekablu edesan yehargu. So as soon as the edim zomimim said A killed B. So then, as soon as they said A killed B, then a new cat says, "Imonu hayisem, we're going to kill the edim zomimim." Tamad lomer nefesh benefesh. Ha eino neharagin ad sheyigmar hadin. There has to be a gemar din on the nidon that he's chayiv misa. The nidon is chayiv misa, and only then are we going to kill the edim zomimim. Therefore, we have two dinim in the Mishnah. The first din is that ad sheyigmar hadin, that the nidon has to have, that's the beginning time, that the nidon has to have nigmar din, not when they give edus, not when the edim say A killed B, but until A actually has the basin say A is chayiv misa for killing B. And then we have the achiv, that once the edim zomimim, once the nidon is killed, the edim zomimim are not going to be killed. So the first question that comes out of this is, like, what kind of din is this? It doesn't really seem, I don't know, I think the first glance at this would be, like, what do I care? Maybe I'll do with it has to be a gemar din on the nidon, because otherwise the edim zomimim didn't do anything. But if he's killed, then, why not? Why can't we kill the edim zomimim if we kill the nidon? So Rashi will say achiv. This is one peshat, that the achiv is more of a gezer sukosov. The achiv has to be alive. There's the Ramban in the perush of the Torah. V'lo kasher asa mikan amru hargu ein nehargin lashon Rashi. So this is from the pasuk. Midivrei Rabbi Seinu in the Satzar Makos. V'tam bezeh bevor ki mishpat ha'edim azomim begezeres hashalit. So the shalit is the ruler. So the din of the edim of zomimim is the gezeres of the ruler, and they're 2 v'tu. So he's saying it's really the whole thing's a chiddush. That the din of edim zomimim is a chiddush. Kasher yavo shnayim v'yidu el Ruven sheharages a nefesh. So these are the first guys. The edim say A killed B. Yavo shnayim acherim v'yezimu otam me'odusam tziva kosav shiyarogu. So when the second cat comes and say Mano Hayisim, so then the Kosov says, he said like it's a total Chiddush, and we dealt with some of this before, but he says there the Ramban saying it's a total Chiddush, that the edim zomim are killed. Ki bezuchuto shel Ruven shehayanaki ve'tzadik ba ha'maisa hazeh elav hayarosha ben movis lo hitzilu Hashem miad beistin. So in the zechut of so Reuven never killed A never killed B. Reuven didn't do anything. He's a tzaddik. So therefore, when it says ki lo etzadik rasha, Eval, so that's all before Reuven is killed. We're going to kill the edim because Reuven didn't do anything. Eval im nerog Reuven. If Reuven was killed by the beistin, nechsho shehaya emes. Now we consider that when the edim say A killed B, that's emes. Why is it emes? Kol asherei du alav harishonim. The whole thing that the edim zomim said, we say it's emes. Ki hu ba'avono mes. Because Reuven died in his own sin. V'ilo hayet tzadik lo yazinu Hashem biyadam. Because if Reuven was taket tzaddik and was not deserving of that mace, the misa in the hands of Beistin, so God would never have let that come to happen, and God would have saved Reuven with some edim making his edim zomimim and saved him from the mace. Like the Pasuk says, Hashem lo yazinu biyado lo yashunu behashvatos. That's the hillim that God won't leave the tzaddik alone. V'od shelo yiten Hashem ha'shoitim ha'tzadikim ha'oimdim lefanav l'svotam naki. So that the basin, again, when you're having the basin that's going to give misa, you have this high level of basin and all these high level dayanim, the Sanhedrin, and they would not spill the blood of dam naki. So the fact that they killed Reuven is a giloi that Reuven was deserving of misa of some reason. Ki hamishpat le'elokim hi. So this is all. So the only way that any psak comes out of the Sanhedrin is coming through the Ruach HaKodesh and the Nevuah and the direction of Hashem, because they follow the halacha and get that Yisiyata D'Shmaya. So this is only what happens in the dinim of Israel. And we trust that Hashem agrees. So everything that comes out of the Sanhedrin, we say that God agrees on all this. So two people have an argument for Hashem. They stand before Hashem, before the Kohanim and the Sfonim, and we said this mishpatim. So here the Ramban has quite a mechudish din as to why we don't kill edim zomim, because taka emes. Maybe A didn't kill B, but he did something that was chayav misa. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been killed in the first place. So that's some type of tam so far. Now in the Gemara, Tana Berebi Amar Lo Hargu Ner Hargid. If the nidon was not killed, then we kill the edim zomim. Hargu, however, if the nidon was killed, ein nahargid, then we don't kill the edim zomim, which is a kind of repetition of you're speaking out what we were seeing in the Mishnah. Now, everything up to so far we're learning as hargu, that it's a misa. And then the question becomes, now here Amar Abai Amar Aviv Beni Lav Kavachomer, who is not a Kavachomer, and then we get Ein Oinshim Minadin. It is a Kavachomer, we don't give a punishment from the din. So we go through this din, and then She'ein Misar Minadin, and then we get into a new point, Chayiv Malkus Minayin. How do I know Chayiv Malkus? We also have the same question on Chayiv Galius Minayin. Now, Chayiv Malkus Minayin, says Rashi, Amat Nisan Kai, is referring to the Mishnah. The Amar Ein Oinchin Din Hazama Achi Yigmar Hadin. So we don't do the punishment until Yigmar Hadin. So Rashi's going on Gamar Din. Right, we have two dinim in our Mishnah. We have Gamar Din and we have Neharag. So which one is it? Is it Gamar Din or Neharag? When it says Chayiv Malkus Minayin, how do I know that you don't get that the edim zomimim don't get makos until the nidon gets a Gamar Din of makos? Or is it also that the Chayiv Malkus? How do I know that the Chayiv Malkus you don't get that until the nidon doesn't get the makos. If the nidon gets makos, taka the edim zomim don't get makos either. If we have a look at this is the Toisus Bava Kama Dalanama base. Edim zomimim perish riba da afilu shilem al pia edim zomimim chayvin. So here Toisus is saying by the din of mammon. Again, our mission is all dealing with misa. If the edim zomimim get misa, then if the nidon gets misa, we don't give misa to the edim zomimim. So we have two more questions. What about makos? And what about mammon? So here, Toisus is saying, "Afilu shilem al pia edim." Even if the edim pay, the zomimim are chayev, right? So even if the edim pay, that the nidon pays, the edim zomimim still are chayev. So therefore, Toisus here in Bava Kama is saying it's not like they did in a Mishnah of misa. Why? What's the difference? The lo shayach b'mammon kasher zeman v'lo kasher asa. The efshar b'chazara. So since you can pay, it's not kasher asa. That I planned to do, not what I did. Because even if I force the nidon to pay the money, if it turned out that there's edim zomimim, so that you can get the money back. Since he gets a b'chazara, therefore they didn't really do anything. But misa is lo b'chazara, and therefore, if misa is lo b'chazara, so therefore, it's only misa and not mammon. So now, according to this Tosfos, what about makos? Is makos efshar b'chazara? No, it's not. So just like misa, you put his head back on his body. It doesn't really help. You put some cream on his back and say sorry about that. It doesn't really help. So according to this Tosfos of Bava Kama, we have the shita of, so we have misa and makos, that if the nidon gets makos or misa, you don't give it to the edim zomim. However, if the nidon pays, then you do.
Is that problematic for the view of the Ramban?
No.
Because if you made the guy pay, maybe, he was...
No, but it's efshar b'chazora. It's efshar b'chazora.
I hear.
And we have cases where and also we have a different type of beis din doing monetary manners.
Right.
And we have cases where the beis din makes a mistake in something that was like a mishnah, and then he has to pay from his own house. So those type of mistakes won't happen on the higher, according to the Ramban, and those mistakes won't happen on the higher level of misa or whatever it is. And there's all other things. For example, you can do mammon in one day, you can't do misa in one day. All these type of things to stop those things happening. So this is the Gvus Ari. You know what the Gvus Ari is? The Shagas Aryeh. Again, look his wiki page for him fighting with everybody. Perish Rashi. Ha'educh shechayev galos v'hezmon v'tanam b'matnisan soifeg es arbaim. Sorry, it's not chayev galos here. Chayev malkus manayin. Perish Rashi. Amatnisan kai. Damar ein oishin din hazama ad sheyigmor hadin. So again, this is only in the beginning time that we can't give him makos. We don't give the edim makos until he actually machayev the nidon. V'l'chayra yesh lefarish the kai nami ahahi de berebi. The amar harguwe nahargin. So here the Gvurus Ari, I don't really know if he's saying this outside of Rashi or he's giving this Peshat in Rashi. Because he's bringing Rashi's Peshat and then just saying l'chayra yesh lefarish what? Lefarish Rashi or lefarish what it says in the is he? This is what the Gemara says. Chayev malkus manayin. Rashi says it's on din actually Yigmar hadin. L'chayra yesh lefarish the Gemara. The kainami ahid the Rebbe the amar hargu ein hargin. Va'ala kamar chayev malkus manayin. That's what it's just saying. Malkus manayin. The im lo laka hanidon loikin. That if we don't give makos to the nidon, then they get nidon. Ve'im loka ein loikin. V'hachinami yisur chayev galos manayin. So, according here to the Gvurus Ari, that basically all three of them, Misam, Mammon and Makos, we're all going to give them that once it happens to the nidon, then we don't give it to the edim. Now here Tosfos chayev malchus menayin perish menayin de ein loikin at yigmar hadin. How do we know there's no malchus until the din is finished? Al pihem. So he's learning again. It's not on the second one. It's not on if he pays or if he gets makos. It's only on ad yigmar din, not if he gets the makos. The intema my lo boy nami kain chayve mammon menayin. Why don't we ask in the Gemara? We don't talk about mammon. We'll talk about galos. We have to talk about makos. Why don't we talk about mammon? Now, if Tosfos is holding here that the makos is on if the nidon gets makos, how do we know that the edim muzomim don't get makos? If Tosfos was understanding that in the Gemara, he would never ask this question on mammon. Because Hitaka holds, as we see, unless you want to say this in Maklokas Tosfos, and we see that he holds in Bava Kama, that for Mammon, if he pays, the Edim Zomim do pay. So the whole question, the whole Tosfos is just asking the question, why don't we ask about Chayve Mammon? So therefore Tosfos is holding, because the question is only on Yikmar Adin, and not on if the Nidon gets Makos. That's how he's learning the whole question of Chayv Malkus Menayim. So not like the Gevur's who's learning that Notaka here we're learning that it's Chayiv Makos Menayim. This is a choice as to how he understands the question. Either it's on Nigmar Adin or it's on they got Makos. The Nidon got Makos already. So how do I know Chayiv Malkus Menayim? There's two dinim in the Mishnah. One is Nigmar Adin and one is you killed the Nidon already. So Tosfos could have learned that it's on both, and that's also if they get Makos, how do we know that the Edim don't get Makos? And if Tosfos learned that way, he would never say anything about Mammon. So why did Tosfos not learn that way? Instead, he learned it only on Nigmar Adin. And now he's only learned on Nigmar Adin. Now all of a sudden we've got a question about Mammon. But why didn't he learn it the second one? It's also going on Horgul. It's also going on how do we know that if the Nidon gets Makos? So it must be that he holds that if the Nidon gets Makos, that the Edim do get Makos. And therefore he can't learn the question in the Gemara that way. Since he's learned the question in the Gemara only on Gemara Din, therefore it's the same as Mammon. So Tosfos L'chayros, his shita is that if it's Horgu or Makos, if it's Horgu, then you don't do it, and if it's Makos or Mammon, so then you do. So then you do pay that. And the Gevur's is saying that even with Makos, if the Nidon gets Makos, the Edim Zomim don't get Makos, the Gevur's Now, we'll just quickly see the answer. Basically, the answer is that we already know it. We don't need to learn it out. We already know it. The Kamosha, we learn the Akshimar Dino Mikro, the Nefesh Benefesh, the same Posuk, except Edim Zomim, Kumoken, Ketiv Momim Be'edim Zomimim. Since it's the same Posuk, Yad Liad Lo Yinakeh. So that the pasuk nefesh benefesh is edim zomimim, and we learn the din of moment from edim zomimim. Therefore, it's the same din, and therefore we know it already. So that's just really the end of Tosfos, which we're just looking at the shitas of whether this hargu ein nahargin is with everybody or not. All the dinim is the Rambam. Nerag zeh, he killed a guy she'edav alav v'achar kach huzmu ein neragim minadin. So if you kill the guy that you were the Edim Zomim about, then you're not killed. You Kabbalah, we learn from Kabbalah val im loka, so that's all in Nerog. Aval im loka zeh she'edav elav loikin. V'kenim yoytze hamama miyad lezeh be'edav choyzer lebalav u meshaklin lo. So Rambam says with Ferush here that if you give makos, you get makos. The edim get makos, and if yotzimana miyad lezeh liyad lezeh, if you pay, then you still have to pay. So Rambam was also just learning that it's a din of the Mishnah of Nergo, and if you kill the nidon, the edim don't get nidon. But however, for makos or for Mammon, you do repay. So Again, l'chayra, the Tosfos in Bava Kama will hold that if you get makos, then since it's not efshar b'chazara, so then the edim don't get. And it's our Tosfos who holds that if you get makos, then the edim still get makos, like the Rambam. That's only if you apply the svara. If you apply the svara of the Tosfos in Bava Kama, so then it would just come out that he's arguing on our Tosfos because of the if the svara of efshar b'chazara, since it's makos on efshar b'chazara, therefore the edim zomim don't get makos. That's why if you play at the svara, which he says there. But then our Tosfos is coming from a different way because he's learning the Gemara a specific way. Must be that he holds. I mean, both are mashman. They don't say it beferish. But l'chayra, that's how you learn them. Now here we have this Hajagas Aravid, right? Shuvoshuza, right? Now, so there's Meforshim who say, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's going on. The Aravid is not clear. He says v'chule. He's going on the whole thing. Nerag zeh she'edu. Shibushu says the Meforshim go on and just go on. What Shibushu you talking about? And so I don't know how to answer you because I don't know why you're saying it's a shibush. Don't know what you're saying it's a shibush on. But it's a maklokas, the Rav and the Rambam here. Exactly why you can just whatever way you want to make that maklokas. Anyway, so we have the Toomin. L'chein haya efshar loimer d'sver leila Rambam. Now here he's making a maklokas. He says above. I think I sent you this Toomin. He says above basically there's a maklokas in between Tosfos and Rambam in this point, but he's going on the Rambam. Hata horgu ein horgin hu neged svara v'haseichel hu kach. So this if they kill the guy, then the ein horgin, it seems to be connected the seichel. Dima habal din moide ledivrei edim. Now he's saying here, now this is what he said before, which is explaining that if the bal din, so if the guy, the nidon is moide to what the edim are saying, she'emes ha'edu v'sheker mazimim otam. So the case is like this: edim come in and say A killed B. Then edim come and say Mano hayisem, and then A comes and says, I did kill B. And then you're Meshakran, because there's a case in Bava Kama, Ein Heim base, where they're talking about that Taka, what I was saying was true, but it happened on it was just, you didn't see it, but it was true. And there they're talking about Eidos She'iyatay Hazima. You can't make Edim Zomim out of that. It's a Maklokas and Nakamara. So it doesn't. So the pashtus is that it doesn't necessarily have to be that you saw it. But if Adam come and say A killed B, and A comes and says, yeah, Taka, I did kill B, then we don't make those Adam Zomim. Even if Taka, they weren't there and they didn't see it, and then they were with the other guy. So the Baal Den, the Nidon, has an ability to potter the Adam Zomim. Enim neharkin commotion is ba'ar la'ayl, as you explained above, which is on the Gemara there. To im siyua kamasayele lis bei mishum hazama la'olam. That if the Baal Den, if the Nidon supports what the Adam Zomim are saying, then they can't be Adam Zomim. Okay, so this is a din coming from the Gemara in Bava Kama Maruba, where if the Baal Din says that it's true, it's Eidos She'iyatay Yechola Hazima, because it was taka true, it happened. So therefore you don't get the din of Hazoma. V'eit zomim chidushu b'lav hachi, and anyway, without all this, the whole thing's a chiddush. V'zeh tamid. So the whole time before you kill the Nidon, yesh biyad Baal Din loimer emes haidu ve'en kan hazama. So all the way, up until the point you kill the Nidon can turn around and just say, it happened, I did it. And once they do that, there's no din of hazama on the Adam Zomim. The echi shayach hazama hamoida ledevrehim. So how can you have hazama? He's not saying what he said was true. Veleke kanasa, and there's no kanas on the Edim Zomimim We post on the edim zomim kanas there. How can you kanas the edim zomim? It's talking true what they said. The whole time that the nidon is alive, if what you're saying is true, hayamoida. So we're saying that it's flipping the whole thing and saying that it's a din in emes and moida. Because if it's not true, that Reuven is coming. Reuven will say that it's true. A will say I killed B. Lo hayamaniach lekatala nefashos kaela. If it was saying it was true, he wouldn't leave them to kill those guys. But Kevin machish the edim achrinim hazimim. Since that he is machish, he says I didn't kill him, and other edim are saying that imano hayisem ketivarav v'lechen yotzim lekatala. Therefore, we take out the edim lekatala. The edim have two people against them. They have the baldin. A said I never killed B. And the other Adam said Imana Hayisib. So you got the two different angles against them. So we take them out to Abalim Kavar and Erag. But if the Baldin, if the Baldin, the Nidon is killed, Amrinan, Ulai Im Hayachai, Varoya Nefashas Lokatala, that the Adam Zomim were going to die, they were taking the Adam Zomim to be killed. Hayachai Zeru Moide Ledevrehim, he would say, Taka, I killed B. Up to this point, he didn't want to say he did it because he doesn't want to make himself a Rosh and say, I killed B. But now seeing that the Edom Zomim are going to be killed, he's going to be a tzaddik and say, I killed B. So now saying, I killed B, he's a tzaddik. So now we have a safek. Maybe A would be moida. So once A dies, now all of a sudden killing the edim zomim is a din of safek. I mean, safek, we're not going to kill them. We have to find some way to save people. So here's a din in the Tuma. Really, he's explaining the Rambam. So therefore, the Rambam, it's only the din of Horgu, because the din of Makos, he can be moida. He can be moida. Even after the Makos, he can be moida and says, yeah, I ate that burger or whatever. He was getting the Makos. For the moment, he can be moida. So therefore, since there's no din of moida, it's only on the Horgu. With the Horgu, you take away. Then so then that's different to, again, we had the Sfar of Taisvus, which was Efshar B'chazara, which Makos is not Efshar B'chazara. And this gives also a new tam, not like the Ramban, a new tam of why once the nidon is killed, we can't kill the Edom Zomim anymore, because it becomes a safek that maybe if the nidon was alive, he would be moida, because after seeing these guys, he would save them from being killed, but he can't do that anymore, and therefore we have a new tam as to why you can't kill the Edom Zomim if you kill the nidon's already dead.